Flosstube, welcome back. My name's Mel and I'm Wordy Stitches here on Flosstube and on Instagram. And this is my Flosstube number 2. Actually, well, kind of 3. I'm not sure how people number things. People seem to do this extra for their whip parades and finish parades. I did do a finish parade after I did my first Flosstube, and I'm not sure YouTube showed it to many people because I put it up fairly quickly after the first one, and maybe that's a YouTube no, but that is there if you have subscribed or you're just finding me and you want to see the stuff that I finished in 2021. You can go back and look at my finish parade as well. But welcome. Today is Saturday, January the 15th here in Melbourne. It's a nice cool day after a few hot days, so it's still a little bit humid, hence the hair's a bit weird, but we're going to go with it. I said in my first Flosstube that I thought I'd probably do these about once a month, but I was on leave over Christmas, just gone back to the day job this week, but I did a lot of stitching because I just needed a break, and so I had a really lazy Christmas break and did a lot of stitching, and I have a few finishes and things, so I thought I might as well do one now while I've got probably enough stuff to talk about, and then I will probably go to about once a month, because once the day job kicks in and I need to get back to my writing routine, there will be less days of many hours of stitching happening. So let's get into it. But welcome back. If you subscribe to me, a few people subscribed, which is exciting. Welcome back. Thank you for coming back and checking me out. And if you haven't subscribed and you like what you see, then like, subscribe, do all those YouTube things. All right, so let's get into, let's start with finishes. So I have had a couple of finishes and one was unexpected. So the first one is this one. So this is a little pink Australian robin. So this was, this pattern was on my whip go board, so number 2. So it is a pattern by, I think I talked about it in my first Flosstube, but it's a pattern by Blackberry Lane. Called Baby It's Cold Outside, and it's a traditional American robin and Christmas sort of scene, but Australia has some really cute crazy colored robins, and I really like the little pink ones because they're just like, hey, I'm gonna be goth charcoal robin, but then I don't mind a splash of pink because they have these really like candy neon pink breast feathers. So I turned him into a little candy pink and charcoal grey Australian robin sitting on a wattle branch, and I think he's really cute. He's very grumpy, but he's really cute, so he will be a good addition to the bird wall that seems to be forming from what I'm stitching. I just need to get some things framed. So that was finish number 1, so that was good. That was a tick on the whip go board. And then finish number 2 was something I was just kind of noodling around in my notebook. Like, I've seen the sort of, the chalk talk and the, the various designs that have lots of words and things, and I just had sort of an idea for a variation on one of those, sort of more like a crossword. So I was noodling around with some words, and this is what I came up with. Now I said on my first Flosstube, I'm a writer and lifelong reader, so I love books and reading, and so this is what I came up with. It's stitched in the blue's like a Cottage Garden thread, one of their nudies, which are like their off dyes that they sell in batches every so often, and then pink is another one of theirs called La Cerise. So I just thought it was cute. Bookworm joy. And it was fun to do. So yeah, and this is just on some random white Ada from my gifted stash that I have of fabrics. So that was fun, and it was little, and it took me about a day to stitch once I came up with the idea and worked out where all the words go. So, I have an idea for a couple more things like that. So if I have any bookwormy stitchers who like those sort of things, then maybe I will do some more. And then my last finish, which was unexpected because this project I put on my whip go board because I had basically most of the second page finished, and there were two pages to go. It's a 4-page pattern, obviously math. And I'd put it on my whip go board twice with finishing those other pages, but I'd stitched on it a bit this month, and I finished one of the designs, and then realized I was almost finished page 2, and then I did the design that sort of bordered page 2 and page 4, and thought, well, I kind of got the bug. So I finished oh, it's gonna be hard to show. So this is Take Wing by Mojo Stitches, who's an Aussie designer, and so these are all little Aussie birds, and it's super cute. Yeah, but I wasn't expecting to finish it this month, but I did. So I think I started this, oh, I did not write that down, September-ish last year, maybe. It was my first thing that I started on 36 count, so this is 36 count week tea linen by Jay's Cross Stitch, and the threads are a thread pack that you could buy with the pattern. Let's do this twisty thing of they're a mix of DMCs and cottage garden threads. You could buy like the full set of threads as well, but I just bought the thread pack, and there's actually heaps left. You could probably almost stitch it all over again, so that was quite generous of Mojo Stitches. Lots of things, but yeah, so I finished that. That was unexpected. I was earlier in the year, or late last year, you know, I was working away on this top bit, and these brolgas, which is the central white birds, which are I don't know what it was, but my brain did not like these brolgas. Like, there's lots of, like, this stitches up fairly quickly when they're going smoothly and you count correctly, but there's lots of color changes in this, so it's not, you know, super fast like something that's less colors. But those brolgas, I swear I had to frog bits of those about 3 times, and then the pattern went on to a little bit of a timeout while I got my nerve back because it was psyching me out, but I win. It's done. It's really pretty, and I'm really happy, so I'm looking forward to getting that one framed. She has a couple of other Quaker designs, one which is like bushland flowers, and then I think one is more autumny, but that's cool. So those are my finishes. So that's 3 finishes already this year, but as I said, I'm back to the day job and writing and things, so there's not going to be that pace of finishing continued, I don't think. Okay, so finishes. So let's go on to whips then. So my second whip go piece was this one. So this is Atlantis by Owl Forest Designs, which is a kit, which is actually, I told the story last time, but when I first got back into cross stitch and I'd finished like a few bits and pieces that I had in my stash, like I thought, oh, I'll just buy one big thing, and that will do me, and then I'll have something to stitch on through the year when the urge takes me. But it took like 5 months to arrive from Russia due to, you know, pandemic shipping. So, and by that time I'd gone down the rabbit hole completely and caught the bug. So it's not the only thing I stitch on anymore, but this is where I am. I'll try and put in, I didn't do a lot. My whip go goal was 5 days, and I didn't do 5 full days, so a day for me was just any stitches in. So I finished this seahorse, which is about half done, and I started this house, and I did this little quite cute motif down here, and I'd sort of done the yellow and all the blue on that, and then realized I was 1 stitch out, so I had to unpick like half of it and do it again. So I will just keep it's on my board, I think 2 or 3 more times, but I'll just try and keep stitching on it a bit every month, because, you know, it's quite long. I think it's about 300 stitches long, but it's only about 100 stitches wide, so it's a long thin piece. And that's just with, use the super sexy plastic bag, kit threads from Our Forest. And I think it's a 32 count, some sort of even weave, but that's also the kit fabric. I'd make it a 25/7 piece just to keep it ticking along, but I've got sort of another daily piece, so let's talk about that. So I am doing a temperature library from Christie's Corner Needlework, so Dr. Christie on Instagram. So I'm trying to sort of keep up with it and do a book a day, but we'll see how that goes as life gets busier. But I have done my first 2 weeks. So being in Australia, it's summer here, so it's been quite warm. We've had a few cool days, but, you know, it's been in Celsius high 20s to sort of mid 30s. I think we had one day that was 37 right at the start, but that's that. I haven't done any of the knickknacks yet, so there are knickknacks on the shelves among the books, I think I'll probably try and do those at the end of the month and sort of personalize them a bit. I saw someone on Instagram, I can't remember who it was now, had done a pair of sunnies, or that might be good for Australia for summer. So I'm thinking about doing that one. And that's just all with DMCs that I pick. Like Christy gives you like a rainbow colorway, but I'm doing sort of a tonal. So I've got like corals, pinks, teals, and blues, 5 of each as my tonal ones. So that one. And then, okay, so next one is, and I think I showed this in my haul last time. And now I have been unorganized and not pulled out the front page. Dilemma by Long Dog Samplers. So you have to pick like 9 of these designs to go in the grid. So this is my first long dog, and I think last time I was waiting on the fabric. So I've picked, it's just an antique white Swiger 36 count, and I've just got a little start. Look at that teeny tiny elephant, it's so cute. So yeah, I just wanted a fairly plain fabric. I didn't want stark white, but this is just that little bit not stark white because the thread is so gorgeous. I wanted it to stand out, and so the thread is like a Miss Silks for You silk. So my bestie gave me this for Christmas, the pattern and the thread. So this is PR123, I think, but it's just this gorgeous teal. It's a bit greener that it shows on the camera. It's sort of between that color and the color of my t-shirt on the camera. And it's just got a very subtle variegation, which is really pretty. It's just enough to give the pattern a bit of movement as you're stitching. So I'm going to keep stitching away on that. That's my first time really stitching a big thing in silk. So I'm sort of finding my groove with that. And I'll sort of, you know, try and stitch on that when I'm a bit awake, so I don't have to make mistakes and unpick silk, because that would be unpleasant. So that is that one. Okay, so then the next one, which is something I just started, because once I finished the robin and I finished my other thing, I finished my, just thought, oh, I'll just start something, needed to start something small. I like having a few big things and then a few smaller pieces that I know I will finish in less than months and months or years and years. So I started, now I don't have a printout of the pattern picture, I don't have a colour printer at home, and I didn't really feel like going to Officeworks to do some colour printing at the moment when they're sort of encouraging us to stay home a little bit. But this is Cake or Death by Plastic Little Covers on Etsy. She does these sort of fun, you know, pithy sayings type stitches, which I quite like. I have a couple in hoops that I've done before, but yeah, so this is almost done. I've got a bit more of the greenery and some flowers and just got to finish the Or Death. So for those of you who are fellow Eddie Izzard fans, that should make you smile. And that's why I like these things. They just make me smile hanging on my wall. And I think that's a good thing. We should have the things that make us happy. And so those are the colours. They're just all DMCs on my little floss drop. And this project bag, I can't tell you who the maker is, an old knitting project bag that I had, but it's a good size for a small project. It fits your flosses and your fabric and the pattern folded up. I don't tend to put things away in the hoop or a Q-snap. I like to try and take them out. So smaller project bags are good for that because they make you take them out of the hoop. Okay, so I just had a random thought that, you know, I don't have a lot of old finishes to show because, as I said in my first one, been away from cross stitch for a long time. I've just done random bits and pieces over the years, and most of them have been gifts or things, but here are a couple of other funny pithy savings I've done. Look, I am Australian. Australians are a bit sweary, so you know, this is not sweary, but you know, it makes me laugh as an Aussie. So this one, I won't explain what WTF stands for. Hopefully we all know that. This is, I think, a subversive cross-stitch pattern. I have her first book, and it's just finished really badly in a hoop by me, and it's getting a bit loose, so it probably needs to be refinished. So I did that one, and then a few years ago, obviously when Taylor Swift released Shake It Off, I did this one. So I just charted the words and I used, I think, a border and the hearts from the Subversive cross-stitch book as well. So looking forward to adding Cake of Death and a few others. I bought a few the other day from Cross Stitch with Art, who has some good ones as well. So I'll just keep adding to those and then I can swap them around. I just have them sort of hanging down the edge of a bookshelf in my lounge room. So I think it's good to have a few things that you can swap out that make you smile, because things that make us smile and we enjoy are important. And then the last whip, which is a little bit random, it was just a yen I had. So in the fabric stash I was gifted, there's some 25 count stuff. Now I'm not going to stitch big patterns on 25 count. It's too big for me these days. Maybe I'll save it for when my eyes give up when I'm a bit older. But I thought, okay, well, people do over 1 on 25 count and I've never tried over 1. So I just had a look in my stash of freebies to see what I had that might be small and cute to try doing over 1 in case I don't like it. And so I found this one. So this is Baking Squirrel by The Blue Flower, which is a freebie chart of hers. I think it's still a freebie chart. It's just super cute. So I thought I'd give that a go. And this is my tiny start, but it is quite cute. So I'm making the pie pan in her apron, sort of this sort of aquary turquoisey blues. I'm not really a red girl, which makes me laugh every time I watch Brenda and Laura and they talk about always having, you know, a red sampler on the go. I'm like, I don't know about that. I would be open to doing like blues and having like a blue sampler wall. So maybe that's a path I will travel down, blue and teal sampler wall. Someone on Instagram was having a blue wall. Cindy C Stitches. She showed a gorgeous alphabet sampler she'd stitched in blue the other day, and then a photo of it hanging on a wall with some other blue things. I thought, oh, maybe I'll be a rebel and have a blue sampler wall. I don't know how many times I want to stitch the alphabet. I feel like as a writer, I type the alphabet a lot. Lots and lots of letters in my life, so I don't know if I need to stitch it all the time. I do love a lot of the gorgeous old reproduction samplers, but I think I'm probably more likely to be one of those people who takes bits of them and stitches them rather than necessarily does a lot of big ones. But hey, never say never on that either. Okay, so that is the whips. Okay, haul. I don't have a lot of haul. I have bought a few or ordered a few things, but the mail is a bit crazy at the moment, so they haven't all arrived. So the linen for Dilemma arrived, and I bought just a silvery moon 32 count. So I have a Mirabilia that's just about kitted up, and I wanted to see if that would be a good colour for that, and it is. But I also got an Etsy voucher for Christmas, and last night I thought, well, I'm going to spend that, and ordered some XJU Designs linen, and there's another sort of more mottled silvery grey in that one, which might also be nice for that Mirabilia. So I'm going to wait and see on that one. See when it arrives. I think I ordered a big enough piece. It was quite late at night. We know how we suddenly go impulse shopping quite late at night. That was me. But I guess I can always order a bigger piece if it's not quite right, and I decide that's the fabric for that when I get up the nerve to start it. But the other day, Nicola from Number 12 Stitch Co. posted a few very cute floss rings, and I don't have many floss rings. I usually bobinate, but I'm starting to like the look of floss rings. So I bought ravens because I love ravens. There are ravens, magical ravens in one of my series. And then I bought a beachy one, The Ocean Calls to Me, because I'm a bit of a beachy girl. And then I bought a little bird sitting on a cake. So I also joined Linnie Stitch's Bird Crush Club as an international customer. I'm going to get a shipment every 3 months, so I don't have any of them yet, but I thought that might be a fun one to use for those projects. And then I bought one other little thing. entirely enabled by Flosstube, which was this little like zipper charm. So it's made out of chainmail. It's got a mermaid on it because, as I said, beachy things. Let's see if this will focus. Do this YouTube. Focus. But anyway, it was just cute. And Carolyn from Evertotes mentioned she had like a scissor fob. Anyway, a slightly bigger charm, and so it's from Creative Curator, who's actually an Aussie, and she does chainmail jewelry and like scissor fobs and charms and things, and I just thought that was cute, so I spent part of my Etsy voucher on that as well, because you know, when you've got a voucher you can do some whimsical shopping. And then I've got one other bit of haul, but that will take us into plans, so let's talk about plans then. So I think the next pattern I'm going to start, so I've been watching lots of whip parades, as we probably all have, and trying to mostly be good and save things in my inspiration folder, or, you know, my list of patterns I like. But yeah, I have, you know, I save them in collections in Instagram, and then I have a list of things with links as well where there's not a good Instagram picture. But I was watching Erin to Martini's Stitcher, so she did a whip parade, which was, I think it was 2 sections, quite long. She has a lot of whips, more than me, which is great. But she showed, well, actually she showed, I think it's a Rosewood Manor pattern called, that she's doing Crosses of the Kingdom. It's something like that, which is all these gorgeous crosses. And she mentioned there was one in that set called Keys of the Kingdom. And now I love antique keys. I have a couple of antique key necklaces. And I had a look at that pattern. It's quite big, and I thought, well, I don't know if I want to start another huge thing just yet, because I've got Dilemma and Atlantis on the go. But then later in her whip parade, she showed this one. So this is Antique Locks and Keys by Shakespeare's Peddler, which is obviously smaller. And then she was talking about the threads that she was thinking about using, and I think she showed this one. So this is verdigris, is that how you say that word? Verdigris. I'm suddenly now doubting my use of the English language, which is sort of, well, it's like verdigris. It's sort of like dark copper and that sort of verdigris blue green. And I kind of like that idea of doing them sort of rusty, someone is not looking after their antique locks and keys. So I ordered the verdigris, and I ordered, this is Dragonfly by Gentle Arts. So this is just a bit more, it's like a brighter version, so it's more coppery, and then there's it's a bit more green. And then I'd ordered a grey as well, and then I didn't like it as much with those two. That's the problem with ordering online. But I had in my stash, this is Cook by Cottage Garden Thread. So this is like it's showing up quite grey here on the screen, but it's actually like, it's got that sagey green tone to it. So I think the 3 of those together with like just doing individual keys in one shade, and that will be kind of cool. Someone not looking after their antique key collection. And then I had this piece of, this is Rain Cloud from number 12 Stitch Co. I think it's, let's see, what is it? 32 count. I just thought that looks pretty good to me. So not my usual palette, but go with what is inspiring the muse, I say. So I think that will be the next start after I finish Cake or Death, which will probably be this weekend, because there's really not that much to do on that one. And then, so because I finished Mojo Stitches, I'm sort of wondering whether I want another bigger, like sampler style project. I mean, Atlantis is kind of sampler style, but it's, you know, it's a C-based. It's not like a reproduction traditional sort of sampler style, and it's using variegated threads. So there's, like, even though it's colourful, there's not a lot of colour changes, or, you know, so whether I want something a bit more intricate to do, or whether I just want to do like a few medium-sized things. I mean, in February there'll be 2 more Whip Go things called, so I'll have to do those. But just trying to work out what I feel like. As I said, I've got a Mirabilia sitting there and a couple of Nora Corbett's Bewitching Pixies, which kind of go with it. A couple of the witchy ones. And so I need to see if that fabric and whether I feel like that is quite big. That's like 300 by nearly 200 or something crazy. Those Mirabilia Pretty Ladies are big girls. The Pixies are smaller, but even those are like about 160 by 120. So I thought maybe what I would do each time I do one of these, because I don't have lots of whips, is maybe talk about a few things that are on my inspiration board, patterns that have caught my eye lately. So this is the first one. So this is Oursmore Cottage by Rosewood Manor. Betsy Klager showed this on her recent Flosstube Live that she did, and I really like colours. As we've established, I like blues and teals. The house is not ginormous. The alphabet's not ginormous. So as samplers go, and it's got birds and owls and things. So as samplers go, this is kind of up my alley. I have not pulled the trigger and bought it yet, but it's been in my cart a couple of times. The other ridiculously large pattern that I saw on Erin's and a few people's whip parades, maybe Top Knot Stitcher is doing it as well, it's another Rosewood Manor. I'm having a bit of a Rosewood Manor. So this is And a Forest Grew, and this is like ginormous. It doesn't look ginormous in the picture, but it's like 400 stitches wide by 100 and something deep. But yeah, I love it. The colours, the trees. I might change the verse if I did it, depending on what the verse is. But yeah, so I don't know if I want something that big until I'm a bit more progressed with Dilemma or Atlantis, just because that would then become my biggest project, and having 3 quite large projects on the go is a little bit daunting. But I really do like that one, and I may have ordered that pattern just so I have it when the mood strikes me. And then the other pattern that I saw on Instagram the other day is this one. So this is called, I think, Rainbow Garden, and it's just really like the little ghosties and things among this pretty garden. So it's by a designer called Una Buena Piezza. Hopefully my Duolingo Spanish made me not mangle that too badly. So she's a Spanish designer. I don't know if she's reasonably new, but I hadn't seen her before. But that's just gorgeous, and that's another one that's quite large. And I don't know if I want to start doing a really large one on black fabric, but she has a couple of other of the ghosties. So this is a smaller one that I thought, don't know what it is about those sort of semi-transparent ghosties. They remind me a bit of Spirited Away and Studio Ghibli type look. I don't know, but she has that one, which is really pretty. I mean, she has lots of really pretty things. And then the other one, which I just thought was super cute, was this ghosties with flowers in like a little specimen jar. That just made me smile. So that's on the want list too. But you know, I'm trying to be good and mostly stitch from patterns that I bought last year. That's what I made sure I put on my Whip Go board. Just want to, you know, I don't mind buying patterns as long as I, you know, stitch at least a proportion of them and get them done. I am someone who likes to finish things and get them done. But yeah, so plan. So I'll start Antique Clocks and then finish Cake or Death and that Baking Squirrel. I don't know if I'm stitching over one right. I watched a few videos and I'm doing it without magnification at the moment. I might make my life easier if I use my magnifier, but we'll see. At the moment, I can't say it's my favorite thing in the world. Like it's coming out super cute that it's that tiny, but like the video I saw sort of showed you do the stitches in a different way to how you normally do. So I learned cross stitch the Danish method. So if I have a row of stitches, I will do all one leg and then come back and do the other leg. If I'm just stitching with like a solid floss. But in reality, if I'm stitching with variegated cross, I'll do variegated floss. I'll do the English method and do like a full cross, or if I'm moving around a lot, I'll do full crosses. And as long as my back leg and front leg are always going the right way, I'm a little bit of a, I call myself a hybrid stitcher these days, but I did learn the English method for sort of doing rows like that. So, because over one, it seems like you do one and then you skip over it. I don't know. I need to watch a few more videos and see if I'm getting it right, but because you've only got one thread vertically and horizontally for your stitch to wrap around, like, and it's quite fine, it's quite thin, it can move if you don't do it the right way. So just learning, so it's all an experiment, but it will be very cute when I get it done. And that fabric, that 25 count, I don't know what it is. As I said, it's in my gifted stash, but it's quite scratchy, so it's not my favorite thing to work on either, but I'm sure there's 25 count, which is lovely. But hats off to anyone who does over one on their 40 count samplers and all that sort of crazy stuff, because yeah, I would definitely need magnification for that one. I did order a small piece of 40 count in my X2 Designs order to give 40 count a go and see if the eyes can cope, or whether I need a magnifying glass or whatever. But anyway, I think I have probably rambled on long enough. That is everything I had to talk about. As I said, I'll probably be back, I'd say, in February sometime, once I get the stuff that I've ordered and once I've done a bit more stitching to show you. But I hope you have a great day today. This is probably up Saturday night for the Aussies, or Saturday night, Sunday morning for the Aussies, Saturday sometime for everyone else. And yeah, happy stitching. And as I said, like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, but I'll be back again.